These are the 14 things I've done to simplify my life and find peace. Every man at the age of 40 and above wants to find happiness, fulfillment, and purpose, but they're tired of dealing with all the BS, the stresses, the pressures of life, dealing with a horrible working situation, a horrible family life, a toxic relationship, bills stacking up, and every man is just trying to find a way out. But giving up is not the option. The best option is to simplify it. The first thing I did to simplify my life was to stop overthinking. The problem with overthinking is that it's all imagination based. It hasn't happened yet. What happens when a situation doesn't happen the way we want? We start thinking, oh, what if I did this? What if I did that? Too many hypotheticals. Does not work. Those are things that never happen. You got to be in the moment and be stoic with the situation. Say, okay, these are the facts. This is what happened. This is what I need. How do I get it from here to here? So you got to start be proactive about being methodical and logical and not overthinking things. Sometimes when you add too many things to the pot, it creates a lot more confusion. So when you're overthinking and trying to problem solve way too much, sometimes it's not going to work that way. What I found out, especially in business, is that when a business deal is too complicated, majority of the times, the deal never works out. It fails. It never goes through. It becomes a challenge to work with, and it becomes a headache. You want simple things. You end up with overthinking. You just end up worrying, thinking about what hasn't happened yet. You just take it one step at a time. That's all you can do. For me, I consider overthinking. I consider the overthinking to just be lying to yourself. Usually when you do think about a topic too much, when a person thinks about a topic too much or something that's going on, they're always thinking the negative. So it just compounds even more, the doubt, the hesitation, the anxiety, the stress, the pressure. It all keeps building when you keep dwelling on what hasn't happened. Don't do that. It's a waste. That leads me to the second one, which is being indecisive. I forced myself to stop being indecisive and make a decision quickly. With that, I implement the 3-second rule. If it's a small enough decision or small enough step, I just make a decision right then and there, and I go complete it as quickly as I can. This works for majority situations. This is not going to work for the bigger situations, like who you're going to marry, where you're going to live, things like that. But in terms of day-to-day life, so you don't let the BS stack on top of you, just say yes or no. Get it out the way. Handle it. It's one less thing off of your platter. Being decisive and taking action right away for me, it's like a conveyor belt at the grocery store. As things start coming up to the cashier, she just scans it and puts it in the bag. I see the same thing with making decisions. As things needed to be completed or you have to choose a specific direction, just make a quick one and then go and test it out. If it didn't work, okay, redirect and then go choose the right one. But at least you didn't have to think about it too much. Or in another way to look at it, being indecisive is like pausing a game. I know a lot of guys, they grew up playing video games, same like me. But how many times have you paused a video game, walked off, and then you came back? The time passes anyways. So you can't just stop and not make it go on and play the game, all right? I'm talking about like Nintendo, before they had memory cards and hard drives and things like that. But back in the day, when we were growing up, we used to have Nintendo and we'd just leave the game on and unplug the controller and then come back a day later and then play some more and then do the same thing. Now, that doesn't work in life. When life continues on, it means time passes on. Either way, you're going to be forced to make a decision. Either you make the decision or someone's going to make the decision for you. So you might as well make it in your best interest. Now, another one that's a really big one for guys is caring what other people think. As you age, you learn that it doesn't matter what people think. Yeah, in our 20s and in our teens, you want to be the cool guy. You want to do what you want to do, look like the ladies' man. As you get older, you just don't have enough time. So you just I stop caring what people think because I need to get what I need to get done. I'm living life for me and I'm not living my life for someone else. So I'm just going to choose to do what makes me happy at any given time. Just like doing this YouTube. Someone's going to probably say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I've had it in the comments before where people were saying, oh, I have no experience in life because I'm only 40. That doesn't make sense. 40 is middle age. Average life expectancy is 76, right? So that's enough life experience to make qualified judgments and great decisions based on personal experience. So as you age, you understand that who cares what people think, because they're trying to apply their life to my own. And that doesn't happen because I'm living life for me. They can make the decision for themselves. That's cool. That's what life is. But I'm not going to live my life running around other people, trying to please other people, trying to do things that make other people feel comfortable. I have to live life on my terms. When you realize that you're there to help people out and serve them, but you're ultimately not living life for them. You're living your life, and you got to be okay with that. I've seen it so many times where family men, and I get a little touchy and I get very cautious when I talk about family decisions. And because that's your family, you chose to get married, you chose to have those kids. So you got to have that consideration, right? You essentially are living a life for those other people. But I'm talking about strangers in general, whether it's coworkers, people you meet on the street. Don't worry about what they think. If it's true to you, it's true to you. And then in some cases, when a marriage is breaking down or a family structure is breaking down, you have to make a decision that's the best decision for everyone. Try to make it a win. If no kids are involved and you're going through a divorce, whatever it may be, make the decision for yourself, because you already know that females can be selfish for their own reasons. So you might as well take the time and do what satisfies you, whatever it is. Now, I relate this to talking with toddlers, not to say that people are children or childish or immature, but I say it in a logical standpoint that when you talk to a child has difficulty trying to understand your perspective or my perspective. So even if you say something, the child might not understand. And it's the same thing with other people. They may not have the comprehension that you need to do certain things for your fulfillment and your success. That leads to the next one, which is stop following other people's perspectives. It's important to have your own opinions. It's okay to have your own opinions, and it's okay to voice them as well. Reason being is a lot of society right now is built on herd mentality. And sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. But if you blindly just follow what other people say, then are you really a thoughtful, logical, reasonable person? No. I think it's important for anything I choose to do, I actually do the research behind it. I don't care what the situation could be. It could be religion, it could be laws, it could be politics, whatever it is. And I'm okay with everyone having their own perspectives. I think it's important to have different perspectives. But when everything's skewed on one side and another side doesn't have enough, then it becomes like a majority rule. It becomes mob rule. So it's important to be able to have your own perspectives, because if you need to stand up for something that's not right, then do it. I think when men choose to follow the crowd just because without doing their own due diligence, I call them parrots, right? How many times you seen like a pirate show with a pirate who has a parrot on the shoulder, and the pirate says one thing and then the parrot just mimics it, right? No one likes that. That's annoying. So stop being fair weather, be concrete, and be your own person. The world needs more people to be themselves. There's too many people who are suffering, scared of other people's judgment, that it leads them to just blindly follow other people. Now, the next one that's a big one for me is procrastinating, because I view procrastinating like literally, and I view the next one is procrastinating. And I view procrastination as an intentional waste of time. It's a lack of appreciation of the time we have. Being men in middle age, we don't have a lot of time left. We're in the second act of life. We already lived 40 years and we had our time to screw around. We can't afford to now. We're in middle age, we're in our prime years, and we're getting ready to go into our golden years. So maximize whatever you need to do, whether be with your family, whether to exercise and get healthy, travel the world, start the businesses. Don't wait. Get it going now. There's a finite amount of time. We only sleep, we only live, there's 24 hours in a day. All right. How much of it is being wasted on things that aren't productive or counterproductive? How much time is wasted on something that's not productive? Wasting away, watching TV, complaining about what's going on in our economy or our society, rather than going out and doing something about it, being an active community member, or better yet, complaining about how other guys have the Lambos, the nice houses, the hot women, but they refuse to build themselves up to go work out, be healthy, and build businesses. I always call procrastination quicksand, because once you get the doubt and the fear in your head to do it later, do it tomorrow, it sticks really quickly. You got to take the action right away. It's all about execution. And the best way to beat procrastination is to constantly take action, constantly execute on what you need to do. If you have a line item of tasks that are 20 things, spend the first 3-4 hours of the day handling the biggest line items that you need to take care of. Then after that, knock out all those small ones. That's what I usually do. By the end of the day, most of my tasks is taken care of. Most of my tasks are taken care of. I even have block out times where I could I even block out times just so I could handle those small tasks. I'm not wasting time. I don't have gaps in my schedule to just sit back and lollygag. Now, one of the big ones for me personally is that I had to learn to quit fearing failure. Me being the type of guy I am, I'm results driven. I'm action driven. I'm execution driven. And when I was younger, I used to not take action. I used to procrastinate. I used to be indecisive because I was scared of failure. I didn't like looking stupid. I didn't like looking foolish. But as I got older, I was like, screw it. No one's even looking anyways. Might as well go do it. So I test and I test. For me, failure is just another way of experimentation. You're finding another way of how not to do something. So I just constantly do new things just so I'm not scared of failure. I'm okay with failing now. I'm just not okay with not trying. And the reason being is fear is all in our heads. Fear is also a temporary situation. It doesn't last. And if you keep consistent, you overcome that fear for one, and then you actually overcome that failure because you end up finding the actual solution to what you need to get done. And the best way I've overcome my fear of failure is overthinking. I stopped overthinking and I just stopped thinking of the what is. I just ran with what I wanted to do. Because I'm results driven, I dangled a little piece of incentive for me, whatever it was, working out, building businesses, getting new business contacts, whatever it is. I gave myself a little dopamine hit, something that actually enticed me to go achieve more every time I succeeded. Now, the next one is big for a community base. Now, the next one's big in relationships. And it's important to be okay with setting boundaries and speaking up. If something doesn't resonate with you and you're not cool with it, then speak up and say so. How many times as men we're relegated to keep our mouth shut? We point something out and we just hear, yeah, but it's okay for us to criticize us, right? Or, yeah, but it's okay for people to criticize us, right? But the moment we criticize, oh, you're too mean. Oh, you're melodramatic. You're doing too much. What? Nah, I'm speaking what I see and that's what it is. Take it or leave it. I think it's important to be able to speak up and set boundaries because when other people are constantly yapping at you, they're literally biting pieces off your personality. Doesn't it feel like that? Like they're eating you alive? So in order to protect your person, to protect yourself, you got to be able to speak up and set the boundaries. It lets people know how to treat you and how to respect you. If people don't treat you right and respect you, it leads to worse things. And I've seen this firsthand. My brother hurt himself 2019, Father's Day, passed away. And I was the first one on site to find him. And so it's important. It's okay to speak your boundaries. Let it out. Let people know you're frustrated sometimes and let them see that. And I'm not saying, oh, you got to lash out and be wild and crazy, but you got to tell them firmly, hey, this is not cool. You better chill now. That's what I'm talking about. Let them know. Telling people like how to treat you and telling them what's right, what's wrong is like bumper rails on the road, right? When people are driving and being themselves, they're just all over the road. And sometimes they're going to bump into you. So speaking up is like setting those bumper rails on a turn, right? When you're turning somewhere and they have that bumper stops, it's like telling them like, hey man, you're going too fast. You better chill out, relax a little bit, set the tone with them. And it's okay to repeat it over and over again. But as hard as it is to keep repeating yourself and setting up boundaries, one of the things I learned to do is stop popping off, stop getting frustrated, stop getting pissed off. At the end of the day, people are just going to be people. And sometimes they don't care what you think. So you got to be able to stay composed and whoosah and whatever you need to do just to keep it chill. Because at the end of the day, when you pop off at those people, you're going to look like a fool. You're going to look like you don't have it composed. I've done this myself. 2019, right before my brother passed away, I was let go from a management position because I was dealing with the narcissist who kept antagonizing my team and kept antagonizing me. And one day I had enough. After multiple months of that, I just let her know what time it is and that she needs to chill out and she's going to stop that. What happened? She broke down, cried, and just pulled like a Me Too. Oh, I'm abusive and I'm too mean. So I ended up getting fired from that position. And then the very next day, my brother hurt himself, right? 1-2 punch. But in hindsight, even though I looked like a fool in the momentary, the team ended up getting hurt afterwards because it took multiple people to replace what I was doing by myself. And it fractured the whole team, especially as you become more wise as a man. When you become a leader, you got to make sure you stay composed at all times. You have to be even keel. You can't rock the boat internally in your mind because everyone's going to come at you as you rise up in the ranks. So you got to just know how to play the game, keep cool and make pivots. I tell everyone when you're a leader, it's all about being a matador because you're going to get haters running at you. And all you got to do is put out that drape that they have and step out the way. Be a matador, a bullfighter. Let them tire themselves out so they get tired of it. Now, one of the things guys always need is one focused goal. You find peace when you have an actual purpose. So having a goal actually gives you a direction in life. When you don't have a direction, how do we feel as men? For me, I feel lost. I feel useless. I feel worthless. I feel I have nothing of value to offer the world. But it doesn't matter what it is. If you have one goal, one focused goal that you devote your time to, that's enough. That's all it is. It doesn't matter if you want to be the best Pokemon trading cards expert in the world, or you want to be of a multi-million-dollar business. Guys find purpose when they have that one thing that they're passionate about and they go for it at all times. And proud to do that. And they're proud to do that. Having a goal in life, it's like watching movies. Every movie has a theme. It has a purpose. Why are we watching this movie? In life, it's the same way. Why am I living this life? When you have a theme, and you have a direction, the movie continues on. It doesn't go in all over the place. It doesn't go in all directions. It's focus. And our lives are like movies. It's the movie that we tell ourselves, that we experience. And as we look back, we say, okay, how do we live life? Now, even if you want one, now, even when we have one driven goal to achieve, it's important to always stay focused, never get distracted. Distraction is the worst thing for progress. When we get distracted, it doesn't matter if it's going on social media, watching movies, going out to the bars all the time, spending time with a lot of ladies. Our focus has to be directed. Whatever we focus on, it grows. And so if we have a purpose, we have a specific goal we want to grow, we need to focus that. We can't let it get distracted by everything else, or else it won't grow fast enough. It's too much. It doesn't work, or it doesn't work as great as it could be. Everyone I see nowadays, they're just running fast. They're trying to get to where they want to go, but they're trying to explore 5 to 10 different things all at once. And from my experience and from the mentors that help teach me and guide me, and these were guys that built companies. These are guys who had 40-year careers and still had a multi-million-dollar business while working in W-2. These guys told me, focus. When you're at work, focus on work. When you're at home, then focus on your business. Whatever you are, be present is what it really comes down to. Doesn't matter if you're with your family. Doesn't matter if you're with your girl. Doesn't matter with your kids. Doesn't matter with your friends. Doesn't matter if it's work or business. Be fully present. When you focus on that, you enrich it. You give it better life. You enrich the life that you're living at that time. You create more stories for yourself and more experiences. Being focused is like Uber. Uber's not going to give you, being focused is like riding an Uber or riding with a taxi. You're not going to hop in the car and try to go to 10 places at once. You always tell them, I want to go here, this one place. Drop me off here. All right. And what's our thought process in there? I hope he gets there on time. I hope he gets there without wasting money, or it's cheap, or I hope he gets there in the shortest distance possible. I hope he gets there safely. When you're trying to go everywhere, you're literally scrambling. If a taxi driver did that to me, I would get car sick. I have motion sickness, and that's not fun. Just get me to where I want to go. Just get me to where I want to go. That's all I care about. This one right here. Now, the next one is the most foundational one of all. It's accountability. How many times have we seen these 20-year-olds not accountable for their own actions? As we get older and we want to simplify life, just be accountable. When you're 100% accountable, you don't leave stuff to the side. You don't just say, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. You don't push it off to someone else. You take full control over it. I remember when I was 20 years old, or I should say 21. 21, I used to go out and drink at a bar. Or actually, when I was 20, when I was in my 20s and when I was like 20 years old, 21, I remember at my house, I had to study for a midterm. I'd always be studying, but my friends would come over every night because I lived in my own place. I was one of the only ones that did it at that time. So all my buddies would come over. We'd be drinking a few bottles of Hennessy between 5 of us. And this is a night before a midterm. So I'd be drinking with them while studying. And I'll be drinking with them till 2 a.m. while studying. Then I would wake up at 7 to go take a midterm. Yeah, it sucked. And I still got good grades because I knew school was important. But then after I finished the midterm and finished school, I had to go to work when I was working at Sears. So I'd finish my school, drive to Sears, and then work till 9 and do it all over again every day. Regardless of how much fun I wanted to have, being accountable made me the type of person I am today, which is no matter how much I socialize, I could still get the work done. I was at 20 years old, 21, drinking Hennessy regularly, almost every night, but I still got my bachelor's degree. I still got my master's degree. So regardless of what you want to do, it's not about picking and choosing what you want to do. It's you could do it all, but you got to know the times and places to do it. Being accountable did not allow me to slack off on my responsibilities. I was able to have my fun, but I still knocked out the shit I needed to get done. In today's world, there's a lack of gratitude. There's a lack of appreciation. There's so much fighting. There's so much comparison in the world that people forget to appreciate what they have. I travel a lot. I travel around the world. I just spent a month. And when I travel to all these places, I get to see how the locals live. I see how people live in shacks. I see how people don't even have microwaves. I see how people don't even have cars to commute. They have to walk miles just to get to work. They have to be up at 4 a.m. and then they walk each way. They don't have the money to survive. And they're still grateful of having just basic bread. In today's world, the Western world, people crying, complaining about what they don't have. As a man, I'm happy about what I've been able to accomplish. I'm happy about what I've been able to build. I'm not looking at what I don't have. I'm looking at what I have built, what I have grown myself, what I have achieved. Now, those things aren't my identity, and that's a different topic, but I am happy that I do have possession of these resources that allow me to focus my thoughts and my mindset on other things, like running businesses. It's the little things that count. My brother, when he passed away, he didn't see he had a great family. He didn't see he had the best parents in the world. He didn't see he had brothers that were willing to support him. He didn't see that he was living in one of the richest zip codes in the country. I always tell people, if you're still breathing, you're not out of the fight. So be grateful of whatever you have. Because if you're in a dogfight, then you could keep going. Don't stop. Keep it moving. Keep hunting, because life demands that. And it's not in a sense of competition. It's in a sense of creating the life we all want, and being appreciative that we have the opportunity to live. Because how many of us have lost people that we care about, whether it's grandparents, parents, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, best friends? All of us have loss. What do you think they would do if they had an extra day to live? What do you think they would be doing if they had a week to live, or a month to live, or a year to live? Appreciate what we have and that we have the opportunity to live. So go live it. And that's why I think it's important that not wasting time is important. And this goes along with being decisive. Wasting time is a waste of the opportunity we have. There's so many things we could do in life. There's so many experiences to gain. There's so many people to connect with. Why waste time on complaining, whining, worrying about things that haven't happened yet? One day we are all going to die. And it's important to know that we can't waste time. Mid-40s, man. Mid-40s. We got less than 30 years. Maybe 40, maybe 50. Hopefully 50. Depends. I look like I'm 25, so been 30 years, I look like I'm 40. So we'll see. But we can't waste the moments we have. Maximize it. Do the best we can and just go for it. Even if we're staying busy, that's still wasting time. I think wasting time is working on things that aren't pushing things forward to progress to where we want to be. It's like being on a hamster wheel. It just keeps going in a circle, but you don't move spots. You don't make any distance coverage. You're not making any progress on distance. Wasting time, unless like you're on vacation, it's leisure time. Yeah. Sometimes I just want to chill and just sleep. I'll do that. I have no problems with doing that. I need to catch up on that. That's important too. Rest is another component, but don't waste it on BS isn't going to make you happy. It isn't going to refresh you. It's not going to rejuvenate you. Wasting time is anything that does not add to your life or help promote it in any way. Now, the last one's really important, because now this is the last one, which is I quit being negative. Negativity limits everything. It negates everything I talked about in this past video. If you have a mindset where you're not positive and you're only thinking about the negative stuff, you're never willing, you're never open, you will never attempt, you will never do. So it's important, instead of being negative, be positive. How do you be positive in a situation when you feel like you're in darkness? How do you feel positive when you feel like there's no way out of what you're going through? It's about finding that one thing you could appreciate and hold on to it for dear life and keep going until you pull yourself little by little out of that quicksand. Negative is the one thing that I see that if you can't overcome that mindset, your life is pretty much done. The way you're living now is the same way you're going to live in the next 20, 30 years. Literally, I've seen this and I don't want to experience it. But it's important to know that if you're going to go do something, be optimistic, be positive about it. Just try, find out. It's worth a shot. Curiosity deserves a trial. Use your curiosity. Being positive means not sitting back, not doing nothing. Being positive means I'm going to try this. And if I fail, I'm okay. And let's see what it does and hope for the best. Expect the worst, hope for the best. Don't let it distract you from trying to test new things out. So with that being said, I hope this, so with that being said, I hope some of these tips could help you out. So with that being said, I hope some of the things I've learned and experienced and believe could potentially add new meaning and new opportunities to you. Catch you later. Be easy.